Hello everybody, today we're going to be going over the futur simple. So for the futur simple is in French when you want to say I will do this or I am going to do this. Something that's going to happen in the future, it's not happening at the second, you're telling someone that you're going to go do it. So this one's a little bit different. You can notice it's sort of similar endings to imparfait, but not exactly. So for je, it's just AI, tu is as, il or elle is just a, nous is just ons, vu is iz, and elle or il is ont. Now we're going to do the formation. The formation is very different from every other one that we've done so far, being the present, past, and imparfait. With futur simple, what we're going to do is we're going to take our verb, as long as it's a regular verb, and we're going to just add our ending to the end of it. So if I want to say je commencerai, but I want to put it in future, it'll be je commencerai, and we add an ai to the end, and that's it. So the next page we'll do a couple more examples. Alright, now I have a couple examples, one from ER, one for IR, and one for RE verbs, all regular, just so we can see the differences between them. So for parler, what we're going to do is we're going to write this for every single option, and then we're going to add our endings to them. So for the first one, we're going to put parler, but if you remember the ending, we just add the AI to the end, and that's it. It's not, the future is pretty easy that way. You don't have to remember anything besides the ending, because you just have to write the regular verb and then just add the endings that you know to the end. So we'll have parler, parlera, parlera, parleront, parlerai, and parleront. Now we're going to do grandir, which is the same thing. So I'll write out grandir for all these options first. Alright, now that we have grandir everywhere, all we have to do is add our endings. So je is going to be ai to give us grandirai. Tu, we're going to add the as to give us grandira. Elle is grandira with an a. Nous grandirons. And then vous grandirez. And ils grandiront. Now our last verb is an RE verb. So I know I said that you just have to write the verb and then put the endings on, but for RE verbs, it's actually a little different. You have to get rid of the E at the end and then add your endings after the R. So for je, it's going to be prendrai. You just remove the E and then add your ending. So it's not too different. And then we have prendra again with just an A. We have prendront with an ONS. We have prendrai with an EZ, and our last one is prendront. Alright, now that we know how to do the regular ones, which all follow the same rules, we're going to do a couple irregular verbs that are very common and you'll see all the time. So we have être, which will be saying if you want to be something, avoir is you want to have something, and aller is you want to go somewhere. So these are going to be very popular ones that you'll see all the time when you're using future. So these verbs have the same premise as the verbs we did before with just adding the endings, but the base, the starting base that they have is different. So for être, instead of writing être, taking off the E and putting être, what we're going to have to do is this will become ser as our base. And then we add our ai at the end. Or for tu, we're going to add our as, our il or elle will just be an a, our nous will be an ons, our vu will be an ez, or our last one will be seront with an ont. So for the être, we have our base as ser, and that stays the same, and our endings are different. But the only issue with these ones is you have to remember the bases that are different. And they're not even similar to the normal verbs, so it does get a little bit tricky. Next up we have avoir, and with avoir, same thing as être, it's going to be a different starting base. for all of these, that's the only thing that's different. So for this one, we have AUR as our starting base. And then we just have to add the endings on top of that. So we have the AI, we have AUR, AS, AURA, AURONS, AUREZ, and we have AURONT. So it's ole, ola, ola, oron, ole, and oron. Alright, and our final one is aller, which is the most irregular of all three of these. At least with cele, there's an E in it, and an R, which is kind of the only thing that's the same. Avoir, at least they both start with an A. Aller is nothing close. Your base is going to be IR. So we're going to have je irai, tu iras, il ou elle ira, nous irons, vous irez, and finally we have il or elle iront. So for these ones, there's not really any tricks to them. You just have to memorize the base. But if you know the endings and you know most of the bases for the irregular ones, you can figure out mostly every verb because the present ones all follow the same rules.